Anime has played a very big part in my life for years. Ever since the introduction of Dragon Ball Z, Ghost in the Shell, and even Esclafone to the Western world, I've been under its spell. However, nowadays anime is a lot more mainstream with live action adaptations on the horizon and a new anime announced on a consistent basis. So it should be of little surprise then that there are, as with any genre, a lot of decent to bad anime out there. And yet, there are also a few gems. I could talk about one of the mainstream animes such as Fairy Tail, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z Kai. Wait, that's a thing? Or Naruto to name a few. However, for this review, I can think of none better than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, I'll start off by saying that this is a second series under the Full Metal Alchemist title. The first came out in the early 2000s, and although it was a bit of a hit, it left me disappointed. But we'll get into that in a minute. When I heard about this new series, I admit I was intrigued, particularly because it was by all accounts a remake or reimagining of the material. I can't say that this is common in anime. In fact, it's hard to think of another example of this happening. What's even more astonishing is that they got the same voice cast for the first series to reprise their roles. And finally, I found out that this was a direct interpretation of the manga. This is very important, and again, we'll get more into that in a minute. Despite my disappointment with the first series, I didn't hate it. In fact, one of my disappointments was because of the direction it took and the potential it had to be something great. The characters were compelling, the animation good, the voice cast great, and the story itself intriguing. But about midway through the show, the tone completely shifted to being dark and somber. It felt like gut punch after gut punch of emotional character arcs and deaths. It lost to me what made it good. And here to me is the why. It turns out that, like what happens to some popular anime, the show caught up to the manga at one point, and left to either continue on to do filler episodes. The creators decided to go their own route. I have to commend them for that, and the end result appeased some people. But for me, it left me wishing things were different. So it's no wonder that this new series, Brotherhood, had my interest. This one would give me the story as it was originally imagined. I'd be lying if I didn't say that my expectations were high. With everything I had learned to this point, how could they not be? But did it deliver for me the story that I wanted? Did it fix the problems that I incurred with the first outing? The answer to both is, well, yeah. Obviously, it was nice to hear the voice cast back again. They worked so well the first time, and it would have been odd to hear someone else bringing these characters to life. It should be noted that I am talking about the English dub. Also, to be expected, the animation was much improved. From the smoother lines, full color, better CG, and character background designs, this looks better, as it should. Also, the opening and ending themes are amazing and stick in your head. I do wish they wouldn't have given away plot points, but again, this is a problem with anime in general. To give credit to both interpretations, a story can make or break it because of the characters. And in both cases, there are great characters. As our two leads, Edward and Alphonse, we are shown the rules of this world and the cost of breaking these rules. Both have a compelling story and journey they must go on, and they work great. As brothers, you buy them. You see their high and low points. You see them struggle and evolve. And you do care that they have to do so. These aren't perfect characters. They are flawed, and it is because of these flaws that they work so well. It doesn't stop with them. In Brotherhood, we are introduced to characters on a Game of Thrones level. Well, maybe not to that extent, but still a considerable number. This includes characters on both sides, good and evil. When you take on a task like that, it can be hard to flesh out each one and give them an identity. However, it is done amazingly well here, to the point where, by the end, everyone gets their own arc, everyone has their own motivations, and you understand everyone's perspective. When a story can juggle that many characters and still give them emotional depth to make us engaged in what is happening to each one, that is a sign of good writing. Even some of the greater superhero movies today struggle with making an interesting villain. This manages to give us all. From episode 1, the story grips your interest, and as 64 episode run, it doesn't slow down long, moving the next plot thread or action scene in a timely manner. At the same time, it doesn't feel too rushed or overwhelming. The tone is similar, shifting between lighthearted to dark often, but not lingering too long on either, so that there has balance. The action scenes themselves are more fluid in style, which is a common trend now, and provides something different to the story. That's not to say that it has to be one or the other. The original fighting in the first series worked fine, so it's really just a matter of preference. And in this case, I find it enjoyable. I will say there is a lot going with the plot, but it doesn't get lost in itself. With most anime, there are deeper thought-provoking moments, but it never feels preachy. Honestly, I have no issues with the series. Everything seems to be on point. From the animation to the music to the characters to the plot, it all works as a cohesive whole. And at 64 episodes, it isn't too long nor too short. Every episode progresses the plot forward. You have comedy, romance, mystery, horror, action, espionage, war, and religion all working together in the series. But the very heart of it is a story of two brothers setting out on a journey of redemption, a journey to gain back what they lost. I can't praise this series enough. It is not only my favorite anime, but it is my favorite story. Brotherhood set the standards upon which I judge anime. It may not quite have the popularity that other series have gotten, but that just means people are missing out. This anime led me to buy the series not only on DVD, but again on Blu-ray within a couple months of each other. The series immerses you in the world of alchemy and grips you for the entire journey. And it's a world that I love going back to time and again. So, for this review, I can go no lower than a 10 out of 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. If so, let me know what your thoughts are on the series as a whole. Have you even heard of it? And until next time, peace.